I was waiting out a potential rain delay yesterday evening at Cooper Middle School. Game wasn't played, if anybody was curious.
Some 7th grade football.
Yeah,
Yep.
Big time stuff. And
Football.
Yeah, no, it was. And lo and behold, I checked my phone, and Micah Hudson commits to Texas Tech. 5-star wide receiver, a consensus 5-star across every kind of recruiting network, a consensus top 10 prospect in the 2024 class. Easily the highest ranked, highest rated, highest regarded recruit that you've had committed to your program in more than 25 years. I mean, probably talking back to Byron Hanspard maybe, in terms of how coveted he was. And the funny thing, Gus, is like this really isn't a surprise in the kind of the micro sense. We've known that Tech has led for Micah Hudson for months. I can go ahead and tell you now that like Rivals.com had a story written, ready to go about Hudson's commitment, and they've had that ready since June 25th, right? And I'm sure that 24/7 and On3, and I'm sure that the other kind of folks that cover this are pretty similar in that regard, because it's thought to have been just like on the cusp for months. Mm-hmm. And so in that sense, it wasn't a surprise. It was kind of like, oh, okay, kind of a random time for him to ultimately pull the trigger, but welcome news by any stretch. But on a kind of a bigger picture, on a macro scale, this is the first time you've had a high school 5-star prospect on your commitment list, right? I mean, you're one of the very few Power 5 programs that hasn't signed a high school 5-star, and hopefully that ends here in 3 months. But that was great news yesterday. Holy smoke!
Yeah, it was. And I don't know the timing of this, but would it have taken place Saturday night amid a post-game celebration, or had they beaten Oregon? I don't know, but it's regardless. When we, like you said, you back away from this a little bit. Coach McGuire's guys get a top 30 class last year for the first time in 10 years or more, whatever. And then you put this guy up there, you put it on the heels of the Will Hammond commit and his Elite 11.
Right.
And, it's gathering some eyeballs. And he's the kind of player that, about whom you might say, and I don't know this for a fact, but I'm sure he could probably step right in and contribute on this team. And that's less of a knock against the current guys and more just how skilled he is. But there's probably room in that eight receiver rotation to get him some reps now. And that'll happen from time to time. That I remember in 2019 is like, man, that Cal Conley guy over there, if he was here, he'd be playing short and Josh would be back at third and da-da-da-da-da. Like those kind of things that can happen from time to time. And man, this dude's a special kind of guy, and it's the sort of game breaker. You said something yesterday about how somebody like this, you didn't use his name, but your example was about somebody that can cover up other people's mistakes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like somebody
like Crabtree did and others. Yeah,
that if you're facing 3rd and 15, he can solve that problem for you with just by out talenting the person next to him and just making a play. Crabtree did that a ton for the Red Raiders. You think of that 4th and whatever it was against Nebraska in 2008. Quentin Johnston was that guy for TCU last year. I mean, how many times did he bail them out? Travis Hunter is kind of being that guy for Colorado. You haven't had one of those guys in a while, and you will next year. And, I don't know, it's probably not fair to put all that on him as a true freshman a year from now, but the potential is there for him to be just a freak.